Empire Tales. Yasuke, the Black Samurai. Imagine the year 1579. Japan is a land of mist-covered mountains, blood-soaked battlefields, and a rigid social hierarchy where an outsider is as rare as a dragon. Into the port of Kukinatsu sails a massive Portuguese carrack. Among the Jesuit missionaries and sun-bleached sailors stands a giant, a man with skin the color of midnight, standing over 6 feet tall, possessing the strength of 10 men. This is not a ghost, and he is not a myth. This is Yasuke. Within 2 years, he would trade his chains for the 2 swords of a samurai, serving at the right hand of the most powerful warlord in Japanese history. This is the saga of the African king who became a Japanese legend. Part 1. Out of Africa, the origins of a giant. The true origins of Yasuke are shrouded in the heavy mists of time. Most historians believe he was born in the mid-16th century, likely in Southeast Africa, modern-day Mozambique, or perhaps the Sudan or Ethiopia. He was likely a member of the Yao or Makua people, known for their height and warrior prowess. In a world dominated by the global slave trade, Yasuke was captured or sold into the service of the Jesuits. He became a valet or bodyguard to Alessandro Valignano, one of the most powerful Jesuit inspectors in Asia. Yasuke was not a simple servant. He was a mountain of a man, highly trained in combat, and possessing a keen intelligence that allowed him to learn languages with startling speed. By the time he reached the shores of Japan, he was a warrior without a country, a man of immense presence waiting for a destiny great enough to match his stature. Part 2. The Arrival. A storm in Kyoto. When Yasuke arrived in Kyoto in 1581, he caused a literal riot. The people of Japan had never seen a person of African descent. Thousands of citizens swarmed the streets, climbing onto rooftops and trampling each other just to catch a glimpse of this black giant. The commotion was so great that it reached the ears of the man who held the fate of Japan in his hands, Oda Nobunaga. Nobunaga was the great unifier, a ruthless, forward-thinking warlord who was obsessed with foreign technology, art, and the unusual. He summoned the African to his court, convinced that the man's dark skin was merely black ink or charcoal. To satisfy his curiosity, Nobunaga ordered Yasuke to strip to his waist and scrub his skin in front of the entire court. When the skin remained dark and lustrous, Nobunaga was transformed from a skeptic into an admirer. He saw in Yasuke not a curiosity, but a warrior of divine proportions. Part 3. From Stranger to Samurai. Nobunaga was a man who cared little for tradition and everything for talent. He was captivated by Yasuke's strength, his calm demeanor, and his ability to speak Japanese. Nobunaga took Yasuke into his personal service, granting him a status that was unthinkable for a foreigner. Image. Artistic depiction of Yasuke in full samurai armor standing beside Oda Nobunaga. He gave him the name Yasuke. He provided him with his own residence, a ceremonial short sword, a wakizashi, and eventually, the ultimate honor, the right to wear the 2 swords of the samurai. Yasuke became a weapon bearer and a personal bodyguard to the demon king himself. In the rigid world of the Sengoku period, Yasuke had ascended from the status of a foreign servant to a member of the elite warrior class in a matter of months. He ate at Nobunaga's table, a privilege denied to even some of the highest-ranking Japanese generals. Part 4. The Demon King's Shadow. Yasuke was more than just a bodyguard. He was a confidant. He accompanied Nobunaga on his campaigns to unify Japan under a single sword. On the battlefield, Yasuke was a terrifying sight. Towering over the average Japanese soldier of the time, he moved with a grace and power that seemed supernatural. He fought in the conquest of the Takeda clan at the Battle of Tenmokuzen, proving his loyalty in the chaos of war. To Nobunaga, Yasuke represented the future, a world where merit mattered more than bloodline. For Yasuke, Japan was the first place in the world where he was treated not as property, but as a man of honor. The bond between the African samurai and the Japanese warlord became one of the most unique and powerful friendships in military history. Part 5. The Night of the Crimson Moon, Hanoji. But every golden age in Japan ends in blood. In June of 1582, the unthinkable happened. One of Nobunaga's most trusted generals, Akechi Mitsuhide, turned traitor. While Nobunaga was staying at the Hanoji Temple in Kyoto with only a small bodyguard, Mitsuhide's army of 13,000 surrounded the complex. Image: map showing the layout of Hanoji Temple and the surrounding rebel forces. In the early morning hours, the temple was set ablaze. Yasuke fought like a lion, defending the gates as the fire roared around them. He witnessed the final moments of his lord, Oda Nobunaga, who committed seppuku, ritual suicide, to avoid capture. Legend says that Nobunaga's final command to Yasuke was to prevent his head from falling into the hands of the enemy. Yasuke stayed until the end, fighting through the smoke and ash, a lone black silhouette against a wall of flame. Part 6. The Last Stand and the Mystery of the Void. After the fall of Hanoji, Yasuke did not flee. He joined Nobunaga's son, Oda Nobutada, at the Nijo castle to continue the fight. But they were hopelessly outnumbered. Yasuke fought until his sword shattered, and he was finally captured by Mitsuhide's men. The traitor general, Mitsuhide, looked at the wounded African samurai. In a final act of disrespect, or perhaps a strange form of mercy, he declared that Yasuke was not a man, but a beast, and therefore not worthy of an honorable death by the sword. He ordered Yasuke to be returned to the Jesuits in the Temple of the Southern Barbarians. And then, the trail goes cold. Yasuke vanished from the written records of Japan as quickly as he had appeared. Some say he returned to Africa. Others believe he lived out his days as a hidden warrior in the mountains of Japan. Though his physical presence disappeared, his legend became a permanent part of the Japanese soul. Legacy: the first global warrior. Yasuke was a man who defied every boundary of his time. He crossed oceans, cultures, and castes to become a symbol of the universal nature of the warrior spirit. He was the first black man to be recorded in Japanese history, and he did so not as a victim, but as a master of his own fate. Image: modern statues and anime representations of Yasuke. Today, Yasuke is a global icon, celebrated in books, movies, and games. He remains a powerful reminder that history is not just made by kings and queens, but by those brave enough to step into the unknown and forge a path where none existed before. He was Yasuke, the Black Samurai, the man who proved that honor has no color and courage has no borders. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the hidden corners of history. If you are inspired by the legend of the Black Samurai and want to discover more stories of forgotten heroes, please subscribe to Empire Tales, like this video, and join our community. The past is never truly dead. It is just waiting to be told.